Hello, this is Davide Biocchi speaking, and here we go for my weekly intermarket analysis. So let's start with the euro dollar that we have seen here was in the beginning able to rebound until the price of 1.08. Then the market was down again. It's a sort of a double bottom here, in a short term double bottom, and then a rebound again. So the recovery is right now at the price of 1.056. So it seems that we are in let's say, sideways that we can assume as a bottom of 1.037 and a top at 1.08. So in this case, this is the idea. The market can continue moving in between these two levels, and this is what we can expect to continue in the next period. Consequently, the dollar index is still there. So above the price of 103.7, that is an historical price that really is telling us that the dollar is really strong. But despite this, recently, let's say, a little bit this run of a dollar stopped. So we will see probably in medium term and in a future another possibility for the dollar to maintain its trend here, as we can see, but obviously it could be better for that we can let's say see a price above this level of 105.5. So this is more or less the price where we want to see it. Let's switch immediately after to the commodities, and let's say that we will face the story of crude oil that right now is coming back and is still back in the previous area, let's say, trading range. We have seen for a long time this price moving in between 95 to 115. This was a $20 congestion that we have seen for several times. Probably we must enlarge this involving the price of 123. So this trading range could be 95 to 123, up and down this, let's say, quite interesting levels. Is the crude oil going to reach 95 very soon? Well, to be honest, I don't know, but it seems that some, let's say, some sell signals are coming, and maybe we can have some news in short term that will help the market finding, let's say, a more reliable and more stable price, because this commodity really went up so much. What is really stable is the gold. The gold is not only stable, but even flat and flat and flat again. So the market is exactly in between the two levels. This is the post-COVID minimum at 1,680, and this is the, let's say, historical record high double top at 2,080. So we have $400 per ounce here, let's say, as a sideway, and right now we have a recent congestion that went through this level, so more or less around the average. The gold is ready to go above or below the present congestion, but it depends from which trick the market and the entire situation around it will offer. So let's see, because it's normal for the gold to maintain the same level for a long time. We have seen it here and then here again, and then the market can boost, and in very short term it can create a quite concrete possibility for trading. So let's see, because this is let's say work in progress for that. Let's switch immediately after to the stock indices, but before, just have a last look at what is happening on the bond market. The bonds went down. I mean, this is the T-note, and went so down that they have reached 3.5 yield for the 10 years T-bond. So this is quite extreme. The market came back, but if the present policy created by the Federal Reserve will continue, maybe we will see even higher yields in short term. So let's see what is going to happen. Despite that, we can say that this was a quite relevant sell-off in the bonds market that we have seen recently. Obviously, we expect maybe even more but the most of the road and the most of the road was already done, in my opinion, around here. So let's switch, as told, to the let's say stock indices, and let's start with the European one. So before we can have a look at the DAX, and the DAX was able to find a place, let's say, to find an opportunity for a rebound that was higher than the previous minimum, the previous bottom that we have seen exactly the 7th of March, when there was, let's say, the collapse of the market because of the war, Russia versus Ukraine. So what is happening right now is that if we have a possibility for a rebound, we must pay attention to some resistances that are on the road. Let's say the first one will be 13,350, but the main one is above there, 14,800. This is more or less the watershed in medium and long term. So let's see what the market will be able to do. And don't forget that right now we are in, let's say, in the middle of a reaction that is happening today on the European markets. Immediately after, we can have a look at the stock, at the Euro Stock 50. The Euro Stock 50 was weaker than the DAX, and so we have seen the market back to the previous level of 3,400, where a rebound, where a recovery seems to be work in progress right now. So let's see what is going to happen. Resistances are so far, because we have some here, and especially at 3,900 and then at 4,000. So more or less we can expect the market, in case of a rebound, to have, let's say, an open area in which it can work, but let's say we must assume this 3,400 as, let's say, as a last call for the market, because below that we can have another downtrend that will become reality. So it's a very important level. Let's switch immediately after to the US indices, and the first one I want to show you is the S&P 500. We have seen recently, let's say around here, a potential reversal pattern that was rejected immediately after by a very bad candle. Right now we are around here today, so we are probably in the second attempt to create another potential reversal pattern. Let's see if this time it will be decisive. We have an opportunity, and let's wait for that. Could be that, especially above this price, that is 3,830, we can have a reaction that can be extended even to the previous resistances, so more or less a little bit above the price of 4,000. So in case of rebound, we have the possibility even to extend it, but we must be sure that this resistance around 3,830 will be overtaken. So let's switch immediately after to the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq is let's say in not such a different situation. So the first reversal pattern ended with a failure, but this one could have even more interesting appeal. So let's see what is going to happen. And even here, in case of violation of this level of let's say of 11,800, we can see an extension of a rebound even to the area of 12,550. So let's say that this is work in progress too. Let's end with the Russell. The Russell 2000 was able recently to try to be back again above the price of 1,900, but later the failure sent it down to 1,650 more or less. That now is something that we can assume as a support, interesting support. So let's see, in case of a reaction, how the market will reflect it. Don't forget that on the Russell, it is easy and possible to trace a downtrend line that is now maintaining the price below the present level. So we have a possibility to trace two downtrend lines. Let's see if the market will be able to go above this level. So this is enough for today. Thank you very much for being here with me. This is Davide Biocchi from Italy. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.